All right, slowly moving things back to the shop. Got most of the wall torn down. We've still got a bunch more to do over there. This was the bench in front of it. We're gonna burn this tonight. Cardboard. First chopper coming into the shop. First chopper coming into the shop is the mini bike that's been neglected and sitting on the side of my house. Now we actually have space to use this. This ran fine when it was here, but need some throttle cables and a little bit of love. Some of the axles are locked up, obviously. Look at that. Doesn't even need a kickstand. Everybody needs an Evo, right? Just kidding. But first one back to the shop, so I'm just kind of slowly clearing some stuff out. Sissy Bar has definitely seen better days because we have not been nice to this thing. I also need the trailer to load up the rest of the scrap metal. I'm gonna load it on her car, got the rest of it in the back of the truck, and we'll put the truck and the trailer together. This will leave tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow afternoon, and we should have an empty space out here ready to pave. Coming out Saturday, they're coming out Saturday with the front loader to respread all of that, and then I just gotta clean up some trees on the other side. So we are almost there, almost there, and starting next week, I have a bunch of time to run stuff back and forth. We'll update you guys in a little bit. Oh, Falcon's hiding in the corner too. That fired right up, decided not to start on the hill. I don't know if it was because it's on the slope or whatnot, but another thing to worry about. Just what I need. Making progress.
Leaving the bar, my breath's as hard as regular gasoline. Fire up a bone while I'm swerving home, blowing smoke like a Model T. Wake up to a cup as black as tar, go to work and get beat like a mule. I'm just as empty as I am poor, so I'm running on fuel. I'm running on fuel. It's all I can do to get up and make it through. Coffee in the morning, whiskey in the evening, cigarettes all day long. It's all I can do. Running on fuel. Well, I ain't lazy and I ain't no martyr. I ain't leaning on Uncle Sam. I just drink coffee like crazy and whiskey like water and smoke like a power plant. I'm running on fuel. It's all I can do to get up and make it through. Coffee in the morning, whiskey in the evening, cigarettes all day long. I'm running low on faith.
This stuff is cleaned up. I don't remember how far I got in editing on the last videos, but dumpster is gone. One garbage pile of the last little bits of burnables. I think I did that in the last one, some wood stuff. This is pretty much all cleared out. It's Saturday, and I believe the owner's coming by with his, he left his tractor here. Sorry, I don't have any lights on in here. He left his tractor here and a pile of fill. So we're gonna kind of regrade and re-level. I just recharged the electric chainsaw, which was fine for just trimming some of these branches down. So when I get back, I gotta pick all this up. We got the truck running, Falcon's gotta move, compressor's gotta move, and this thing is sounding terrible. So why not use it to run scrap? One more run. This is the last of the big clear out stuff that we have left. So try to make it to the scrap yard and back. This needs a trans. You can hear it. Trans works fine, but oh, so grindy. Does not sound good in there. I don't know if that's gonna pick up on the mic, but you put it in gear and the noise goes away, so we'll call it good. I might just have something banging around behind the clutch. Maybe. I don't know. We need to address it. One way or another, that trans needs to get separated from the motor so I can figure out what's wrong. Maybe it's the pilot bearing. Something easy, but that trans is pretty rough shifting anyway. And we have another one. So that'll be coming up probably pretty quick here just because I need this truck for working. But until then, we're going to drive it until it blows up. That'll tell me what's wrong too, right? So fingers crossed we make it to the scrapyard and back, unload the rest of this, and then today's going to be some conduit, finish knocking down that back wall. We got the drywall down, but redo some of the electrical up top there, hook up the new compressor, new used compressor, maybe paint this dark corner wall. That's the only thing left for paint. And then get that paint mixing dock stand out so I can list that for sale. And go from there. We still got some of the TVs and we still got the paint stuff, but I'm hoping I can get rid of the paint mixer with all of this stuff as kind of a package deal. You want that? That'll be cheap. You gotta take all this and figure out what to do with it. So let's try and take this truck down the road. Hopefully this doesn't go catastrophically wrong, because I've been listening to that warm up for the last 3-4 minutes and it does not sound good. Oh, you guys hear that? It's hard to hear with the headers, but clutch in, put it in gear, goes away. So what causes that? Something's rubbing or binding or making noise when not engaged with the drivetrain, but goes away under load. So the other issue we have is second gear is screaming at me like crazy. So that's okay. All things that I need to address, but not today. Come on, old truck. We can make it one more scrap run before we can start messing around with the transmission. Never been here before, but we're at 6120 right now. See what it looks like when it's done. Gives me a rough idea of what the truck weighs. All right, putting the Ford to work again today. 6120 coming in, 4800 going out. It's more than I anticipated, so let's go get our pennies on the dollar in there. Alright, we're back on the road. Trailer is empty, truck is empty. We had 1,320 pounds, 1,320 pounds. The last handful of times I scrapped anything, I don't do it frequently, but I wasn't really making anything. Left with 105 bucks, so that'll put a couple cases of beer in the fridge and keep me motivated to keep jamming away up there. So, pretty happy with the day so far. Made 100 bucks off of junk. Call that good. My goal was to beat the rain, just starting now. One downside to that new recycling place, I've never been to that one. Just opened, pretty nice. It's right on the entrance ramp for a southbound main road, so you gotta take the real long way home, which I don't mind driving. With the way this truck is sounding, right now it's fine. It runs fine when it's in gear, everything's good, working good. But if we catch a light up here, I'll let you hear what this thing sounds like in second gear. Ooh, second gear is not happy. That's been on its way out for a long time, but especially now. I don't think it liked pulling that compressor, and it definitely doesn't like pulling all the weight. So, and then we picked up another electric compressor. I'm gonna run this thing until it dies, but for right now, it's working. When you're in gear third cruising, it's perfectly fine. It's like no problems exist at all, but the rest of it, it's not happy. So, nice back roads tour. Gonna catch a little bit of rain, but we should be back to the shop before it actually starts. We're on a hill. It hates going into first gear, which I think is just like linkage adjustment because it's worn out. It's got an old Hurst 3-speed to the floor conversion kit, and the bushings or the metal rods are rounded off on the edge. So first gear is not terrible. Little windy. Second, on the other hand, I don't know if you'll hear it over the exhaust. Not as bad under load, so I'm assuming there's some replay and some weird gear meshing going on there. Third's fine. But second gear, whew, back in second. Ugh, I hate it. I hate it. All right, we'll see you back at the shop. Making progress, slowly but surely. Back at the shop, compressor is moved back to the front. I never really showed you guys the front because we don't really rent that, but there's a lot of room for cars. I didn't realize how much, driving in here as much as I have. I usually just focus on the backside, but sorry, I'm putting a bunch of stuff away right now. Set you guys here for a minute. But there's a lot of room for cars. So I think Dottie and I were kind of talking. We talked to people up front and that live in the house. They're pretty cool. They've been around motorcycle stuff and biker things forever. So we discussed it 2 nights ago, and we are 100% going to be throwing a pretty big chopper bash out here once I can get the inside a little bit more cleaned up and a little ready to go, and try and get a little event going. It's a beautiful property. I'd like to share it with friends. So I'll try and get some people together, do a nice little chopper party, camp out, barbecue deal. So outside, I just got a little bit more cleaning up to do. It's about 9:30. I think he said he was going to be here around 10. I'm hoping the rain stays away, and we can fire up the tractor and re-level, move all of this, re-level and grade this around the camper. Unfortunately, I was hoping to have that gone by the time he got here. It's still pending. I'm still waiting on a couple paperwork legality things that we're trying to do the right way before I post it for free scrap pickup, whatever it may be. And then we'll go from there. I mean, the hydraulic line on the pop-out is broken. I know that for a fact. No idea on brakes condition of the tires. They hold air-ish, but I would not want to run this very far down the road in its current status. But we got a ton of space cleared out over here. I'll move these barrels back in a second. Just been dumping these rainwater barrel collector things. Then just some brush pickup out here, clear this out, and then hopefully we can actually kind of cut down and see if we can flatten this with the weight of the tractor a couple times, get this a little bit more solidified, and just kind of sprucing up cleanup. But hopefully when I'm back later, maybe I'll get a little bit of time lapse of that, but hopefully this will all be kind of nice and level. I'll try and see if he can cut the top edge off that tree line and give me another couple feet on this side. And I got some more cleaning to do. All the cars are on the other side of the camper tree line over there. And then in the shop, holy cow, I have not, ooh, that's gonna sound terrible for you guys. I have not bought electrical stuff in a very long time since our shop has been since our shop's been mostly done, but 6 sticks of conduit, bunch of sockets, outlets, boxes, wire, holy crap. I don't know how people can afford to do anything anymore. This lot, I'm hoping I can return a bunch of it. I did buy extras of stuff because I didn't know exactly, I didn't take pictures. I didn't really actually think out exactly how we're gonna run the power from here over to there. There is conduit already run up and over to this little section on this temporary wall that I'm hoping to drop down today. We got a high power switch down here with wires run to it. So realistically, this part of the loft from this side of the door over is gonna get removed. This whole loft is gonna come down, and then we'll have this area wide open. But we gotta go through the electrical and all of the, I started trying to chase some of this. I don't know if this outlet's working, it probably is, looks like it's live. This is the switch for the lights in the blast booth, as well as, I don't know what else that does. I think that's just the switch for the blast booth lights. I don't know why it's here. And then this runs over to a junction box on top and then drops down to this back panel. Excuse me. Another outlet on the wall there. And then I'm pretty sure this ran over to power up the mixing station or mixing stand, paint holders. I don't know how that works. But all of these have wires through them. I don't know how live they are. It looks like another little breaker in there. So we'll go through and do that, and then there is already power in here, and it's not a big compressor. I'm so used to using the one of the shops, like a 10-horse electric motor and all this other stuff. It's nice going back to something that's this small and not having to worry about running a bunch of power to it. Just enough to get it to click on and click off. I heard it run. I also tipped that compressor over. I didn't drain the oil, tipped it over in the truck. It's just way easier to pick it up and get it back. It's been sitting for 3-4 days now, so I'm hoping all of that oil drained back in before we try and fire that up, but it was working when I pulled it out there. So we have power in here. I just got to figure out what I need to do to make the 220 circuit work in here with what I have. I overbought wire, like I said, in terms of materials. Overbought, but 6 sticks of conduit, a bunch of switches, and some high power plugs, because I do want to run a stretch from here over to that corner for the TIG welder, because I think my metal workbench and steel stuff, all of the fab stuff is going to come over here, and then this little corner is actually going to be the welding station. It's kind of how I have that envisioned in my head. I know the dartboard's here, but the table's only going to come out to about here, and then we'll have the TIG tucked into the corner, or maybe I'll put it on this side, depending, but we'll run a stretch of wire and conduit to a high amperage plug right there, get the compressor hooked up, and then I'll be feeling pretty good about the day. However, all of this stuff, $500. $500. And I think I have some of this stuff back at the shop too, so whatever I don't use, I do plan on returning. I did not anticipate the cost snowballing that quick for materials. Tis what it is, I guess, 2024. Gotta love it. But other than that, I'm just gonna keep sprucing up, and I might do a little bit of time lapse. I do have some other high power plugs over here, the lock ends, another one over there that I can recycle. So right off the bat, I knew they were up here. I just didn't know how far I wanted to move things. Originally, I thought about putting the compressor over here, but to me, it makes more sense putting any noisy, bulky things in the back so I don't have to listen to it all day. And honestly, with the diesel compressor running and the fans going in here, that compressor will be inaudible back there. So we're getting there. Might be pulling some of this stuff down, might not. I really need a electrician buddy of mine. He's gonna come by at some point to come by here and go through all of this, because there is a plethora of conduit and wires running to dead ends and things like that. But back to cleaning. We'll keep you posted when the tractor is up and running. pressure's working. I need to fill it up with oil before we go any further, but I also got a bow today, so we're gonna play around with that.